So first we start off with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge, appreciate the land in which we gather is the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kma'ki First Nation, and we have occupied this territory since the time immemorial. Call to order. I just want to welcome the legal gun owners of Prince Edward Island. Also want to welcome Anna, who will turn 1 year old on January 1st. So we gave her a candy cane, and I think that will occupy her for a little of the time here. Any declarations of conflict of interest? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. On resolution number 1 under planning and heritage, just close personal relationship with the landowner.
Okay. Resolution number 1, is it?
Resolution number 1, 289 Sydney Street.
Okay, thank you. Any other conflicts? No? Okay. Approval of agenda. Councillor McCabe.
Your Worship, I'm just wondering if we could move Protective and Emergency Services 7.2 to the first of our agenda this evening. There are quite a few people here, and I'm guessing they're here for that discussion resolution, so I thought
Okay.
if we could move that to the front.
Second.
And I also want to tell you I have to leave after the Heritage tonight. I'm sorry.
Seconded by Councillor Bernard. So 7.2 becomes 7.1, 7.1 becomes 7.2. Question? All in favor? Against? Good. Okay, we have minutes from the regular monthly meeting, November 12th, 2025, special meeting, November 25th, 2025. Need someone to move them. Moved by Councillor Ramsey, second by Deputy Mayor Yankoff. All in favor? Business arising, out of the minutes. Councillor Twill.
Thank you. I want to go to page 2 of 10 for November the 12th. Page 2 of 10 of November the 12th. Business arising from the minutes.
Okay.
So be it resolved, the City of Charlottetown accept the draft Canadian Union of Public Employees QP 830 collective agreement January the 1st, 2023, December the 31st, 2026, as per attached documents. Effective November the 12th, 2025. Then as a result, the motion carried by 6-0 vote. So having the resolution passed by council and agreement with QP 830, has the contract been signed, and who signs the contract?
I'm going to pass that over to the CAO. No, this is just, it's just business arising from the minutes. CAO? CAO, do you mind if our legal counsel answers? Do you mind?
Absolutely, I was just going to suggest that.
Thank you. Look at that. Great minds think alike. Right on. Just turn on your...
Yeah, in terms of who signs the agreement, it would be the CAO and the mayor as per the MGA, and the agreement has not been signed as of yet. We had sent our draft to Local 830 for their review, and yesterday, I think, it was yesterday that they sent back their comments. So tomorrow, I'll look at their comments and send them back, and then that should pretty much finalize things, I think.
Councillor Twill.
Okay.
Can you just stand up, please? That good?
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. Another question there, sir?
Yeah, a couple more.
Go ahead.
I want to go to the Parks and Recreational Leisure Activities Report. Council approves of Joseph.
What page? I'm trying to find it.
Page 6 of 10.
What would that be digitally?
6 of 10.
Okay, that's a hard copy.
So,
Yeah, we can't follow you because we're all in the digital copy.
well, it's in the, that's where it came
Are we
from,
in the minutes or the report?
in the minutes,
Minutes.
yeah. So,
From what-
count, well, pardon me,
What date was the meeting? Or what-
November 12th. The council approves that Joseph A. Gibbs Memorial Park as a location to install the MAD monument. And that the province of Prince Edward Island, in partnership with MAD Canada, will be covering all associated costs with the purchasing and installation of the monument. I recall a notice of motion that was filed by the deputy mayor. All members of city council agreed to that notice of motion, and that there would be a policy come forward prior to any other statutes being approved or recommended by, in this case, Parks and Rec, to city council, and then council voting. So my question is, what takes precedence? The notice of motion that was passed by the deputy mayor, which was approved by a 10-0 vote, and then the motion just seemed to go put on the back burner, and yet we have another vote on another statute. We went through that when we approved the statute for the Ukrainian community, and we made it quite clear, at that time, there was 2 or 3 of us, made it quite clear at that time, we felt there should have been a policy. So as a result, the deputy mayor, doing her due diligence, brought forward a notice of motion. We all voted on the notice of motion, and for some reason, to no avail, that notice of motion has just been tossed aside, or we'll get to it when we can get to it. And why are we making decisions and cherry picking on monuments that are approved by city council when we don't have policies and procedures in place?
Okay. Councillor McKinnon, and then Councillor Drawn.
Thank you, Your Worship. No disrespect, Councillor Twill. We did have a discussion on this at a meeting. We voted on the change for this MAD. You were not here during that discussion, so if you had read the package, you would have seen that the discussion was there. We fully respect what the deputy asked for in her notice of motion, and moving forward, we haven't made a decision on that.
Councillor Drawn.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. And I echo Councillor McKinnon's comments. There was a long discussion about the council, and it's our prerogative to change our minds. I did vote for, to get a policy in place myself. You say a 10-0. But when we came to discuss this, it was a time-sensitive issue, a very important issue, just like a lot of them. And council changed their mind. We're still going down the road with a policy about the monuments, but at this point in time, council decided, we voted, we changed it, and we let this one go through. And I said it at that time, I think in 10 years, we probably only had a number, you could count them on one hand, about monuments. But this last 2 or 3 months now, we have one in, the Ukrainian one, and then this one. So, we're going down the road to get the policy, but council made the decision and voted and moved forward. So I don't know what the concern is in regard to that. It's all on YouTube. It was all in the open. If you wanted to watch the debate, you could watch it, and that would answer your question. Thank you.
Procedurally, a notice motion is to go back to the standing committee. Correct? That was the issue. That motion went back to the standing committee. Procedurally, the Standing Committee for Parks, Recreation, Leisure decided to advance the resolution. So what takes precedence? The decision made by the body responsible for Parks, Recreation, Leisure, chaired by Councillor Ramsey, to forward to council. Council could have said at that time, no, we're not going to deal with it. We had a full discussion, as you said, Councillor McKinnon and Duran, and in the end, we voted for it. But just as you said, Councillor Duran, there is a policy development going on right now as we speak. So there will be something in place. No disrespect to the deputy mayor and what she was trying to do. She has actually initiated a policy development on monument statues for the city of Charlottetown. And I appreciate and thank you for that. Councillor Twill.
Well, I can recall when we had the discussion on the monument for the Ukrainian community, and it was quite clear at that time that we're going to have a policy in place. Correct me if I'm wrong, Deputy Mayor. If I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected, but we were going to have that policy in place. even before you brought that notice of motion. You did your due diligence, you brought in the notice of motion, and I was surprised to see that in the package, to be quite candid with everyone here. I think you even said that once the statute was approved by the Ukrainian community, you were going to formulate that policy, and that did not happen. And then further to that, my question is, to put the statute down at the Joe Gayes Park, why wouldn't the statute, I mean, we're trying to reach students drinking and driving, why wouldn't the statute be placed up around Colonel Gray and Queen Charlotte? I would think it'd be more visibility there as opposed to the Joe Gayes Park, much more visibility. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts. And then when that's done, I'll move on to my next item.
Sure, thank you. Councillor Beck.
Yeah, I just think one other thing. The recommendation came from staff who examined various parts around the city and looked at all various options. If we recall, this ended up in our desk back 6-8 months ago, maybe, when it was proposed to be down in Victoria Park. It had to get pulled out of there because of the heritage
Issue.
implications that came with it. And I think the difference with this, I think there's an important distinction to remember with this. This is not a new initiative that came to council after the motion was put in. This has been in council.
In the queue.
In front of council, in the queue, been looked at, been debated. A lot of work, not debated, but deliberated, probably a better word, in terms of where's the appropriate place to put this. Staff followed through, examined where's the best place to put it in the city, came back with a recommendation, and we finalized a process that had been in place for quite a while. So I see it as quite different from anything that, I think if we come in with, if there was a new monument policy to come in right now, I don't think we would be in any mood to entertain any at that time. So I think that's an important distinction to make in this particular case as well.
Okay. Councillor Twill, another item? Page, could you tell us what?
2 of 3 of November the 25th.
Okay, 25th, 2 of 3.
So, motion to move into a closed section for section 119(1)(b) and E of the Municipal Government Act, PEI. And a couple of the items that we, council decided to go in camera with was the fire underwriter study and the agreement with the Public Safety Canada. So, on the fire underwriting study, I wanted that discussion, and the same thing with the agreement with Public Safety Canada, to be discussed in an open forum. My question is, and I've since heard, I mean, we have 2 presentations back in May from the fire chief regarding the fire underwriter study, and then we had one back in November the 25th. So the question becomes, and I tried to spell it out, my transparency motion. The study was a complete study conducted by an independent third party about public fire protection and risk to residents, not a personal matter, not a legal matter, not a negotiation, not confidential commercial data belonging to a private corporation, and there is no valid reason under section 119(1) to exclude the public. This is information that belongs to the people of Charlottetown. So with respect to the 2 presentations that were given by the fire chief at an in-camera session, I've since learned that council voted to go in camera. The question I have is, was that a recommendation that came from senior management to go in camera? And if it was, when can the public have access to the fire underwriter study and the 2 presentations that were given to council? There's concern in the community. Firefighters that I've talked to would like to have a copy of that report, and they want to know why they haven't received copies of those reports. Now we're talking 3 reports. The original underwriter studies report, and then the 2 presentations were given to council.
Councillor McCabe, Chair of protective and emergency
Chair,
services.
yes, since
Thank you.
we've had two in-closed sessions on the fire writers' understudy report, Councillor Twill, and yes, there is still things that are not finalized that would be, put us in a position where we'd be ready to go to public. We're still looking at land, we're still looking at placements, we're still looking at different things that they would deem not ready for public or whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, we need to wait to see. I have a committee meeting on the 16th, and I will ask that we have that on the agenda to find out when we will be able to hopefully go public with what the underwriters' recommendations were, but we're just not there yet.
Yeah. Did you look at section 119, subsection 1E? Did you read it out? A matter still under consideration in which the council has not yet publicly announced a decision and about which discussion in public would likely prejudice a municipality's ability to carry out its negotiations. Did you refer to that?
Well, I referenced it.
Yeah, but that's,
My own notice of motion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you heard what I have to say.
Yeah, but that's-
It's an independent study.
yeah, that's section 119.
I know,
just wanted to say
completed
that.
by the
Yeah.
underwriters.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about land and whatnot, just talking about the report itself and why that report wasn't released to the public. It's just a simple request. The firefighters would like to have access to, like to have access to it, as well as the citizens of this community.
Right.
Nonetheless, I raised it.
Yeah.
I want, okay, thank you. So the other matter I want to bring up, under the agenda items and business arising from the minutes,
Yep.
is the agreement with the Public Safety Canada, okay? So we were here on the 25th. The gun owners were here. They were led to believe that once we went in camera, we would open the doors and we would have a vote. There was a resolution ready to go if it went a certain way. And then I found out that, no, it's going to go back to the Protective Services Committee, which it did not go back to the Protective Service Committee. So the question is, why didn't we open the doors and have the vote? And furthermore, why did we have to go in camera to begin with when you look at other municipalities across Canada, and these are open debates, open discussions, right out in the public forum? Why are we different?
Councillor McCabe.
Well, I'm not sure why we didn't open the doors that night and read the resolution. I'm guessing we had a fairly packed agenda and the process just got missed. I don't know, I don't chair that committee, but the reason we were in closed session would also fall to the
Under
MGA
section
where it talks
119,
about potential
1E.
contractual agreements. So
Yep.
it allowed us to come in to discuss what that contract would look like, gave us opportunity to discuss. It didn't come back to committee. I didn't want it coming back to committee. I felt we had really good discussion, but when we get to the resolution, there'll be more to that. If you
Yes.
could just wait.
Yeah. Councillor McCabe? Councillor McCabe? You do have a resolution for tonight, don't you? Yes. Okay. Is it another question, or is that
Oh,
follow-up?
just to reference what
Yes, go ahead.
Councilor McCabe said.
Okay.
I feel the same way. Anyway,
Don't cry out. Please don't cry out.
no, I'll leave that to you, Mr. Mayor. Anyway, no, in all seriousness, there was a resolution typed up. And if it would have went a certain way, then the doors would have been open, we would have had the vote. But we didn't have the vote. So I'm questioning the procedure here. You can't have it both ways, whether, well, I got a resolution typed up, so if it goes a certain way, open up the doors, then we're going to have the vote. Right? No, I know. That's why I'm raising it. I'm really questioning the process. And that's my right to question the process. We should have opened the doors and had the vote. We shouldn't even went behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
Thank you very much. So there is a resolution tonight dealing with this issue, correct? Okay. Thank you. Any other business arising from the minutes? No? Going once, going twice, sold? Okay, I need a resolution to move on. Council inquiries to be undertaken, to be taken under consideration. Councillor Norman Beck, Ward 3.
I don't have any.
Oh, so. yeah,
No,
did
but
you-
I do want to thank Councillor McCabe and Councillor Matart for taking my previous councillor inquiries under consideration and bringing them forward in this report. So thank you for your prompt attention, and the chief as well, too. So it's a good format. I like it. It gives us an opportunity to do something, get it on, get it addressed. So
Get it on
thank
the
you for
public
doing
record.
that. Thank
Oh,
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor McCabe and Councillor Matard. So we're going with report 7.2, which is now 7.1, Protective and Emergency Services. Councillor Julie McCabe. Councillor McCabe.
All right, so the Protective and Emergency Services Committee met on November 18th. The minutes are in your package. We have 2 resolutions to read tonight, 2 bylaw readings for review and consideration. And any questions after we get the resolutions on the floor, I'll do my best to answer.
Okay, you want to put the resolution on the floor, sir? Number 1. Yep.
Thank you, Your Worship. Protective and Emergency Services Resolution Number 1, moved by Councillor Julie McCabe and seconded by Councillor Kevin Ramsey. Let it be resolved that the city enters into an agreement with the Federal Department of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness in relation to the assault-style firearms compensation program, and that the mayor and the CEO are hereby authorized to execute the standard contracts and agreements to implement this resolution.
Councillor McCabe, do you want to deal with that first?
I do, thank you. So as chair of the Protective and Emergency Services Committee, I do want to note that this item was first brought to our committee for consideration in closed session, again, because of the contractual potential agreements. However, at that time, the committee felt that the federal gun buyback program warranted a full council discussion. It was more than what we felt we were willing to do as a committee, so hence we brought it directly to council without an actual recommendation from our committee. After reviewing the details personally, I'm not prepared to support what staff's recommending, which is to participate in this program. For me, it's a federally mandated initiative that falls within the established responsibilities of already existing RCMP, and taking this on at the municipal level would duplicate existing services. It would also place additional strain, in my opinion, on our administrative and operational staff at a time when our resources are already limited. And I think if we have opportunity for extra work, again, to duplicate services doesn't make sense. I'd rather see them be used in a preventative way. I have lots of ideas if there's extra staff resource time. I also believe that our municipality needs to focus on the priorities that clearly fall within our own jurisdictions. Our municipal police services continue to fulfill its mandate consistently with existing legislation and operational protocols. They remain committed to safeguarding our community and carry out this responsibility every day with professionalism and dedication. So for this reason, I'm going to not support the recommendation to participate in this federal program.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Alana Yankoff.
Thank you, Chair, and I just made a few notes myself. I just want to be very clear this evening that I will not be supporting the request for the City of Charlottetown to enter into an agreement with the federal government regarding the assault-style firearm compensation program. This is, in my view, a download of federal responsibilities onto municipal government, and I do not believe Charlottetown taxpayers or municipal staff should be absorbing the administrative, operational, or reputational burden of executing a federal firearms initiative. Our municipality is already stretched responding to core local priorities, planning, infrastructure, housing, transit, protective services, and I firmly believe that we should not be taking on responsibilities that fall squarely within the federal jurisdiction. So again, like Councillor McCabe, I will not be supporting the resolution this evening. Thank you.
Councillor Terry Bernard, Ward 10.
Ward what?
10.
Oh, boy. Thank you. Yeah, just a couple of comments. I know when we had our closed-door meeting, and usually when you have a closed-door session, the item is discussed, and there's a reason why it's in closed doors. We've read out in the MTA. Normally, it would go back to the committee for a recommendation. And I think Councillor McCabe has stood up and said she didn't want it to go back, that it was in council, and council had a full discussion about it. So to me, the proper process would be it comes to council for a vote. I'm glad we had the information shared that we did from the police services. Definitely not something that I'm interested in. If they want to take their rifles back to RCMP barracks and University Avenue, they can so do that. I don't know why we would get involved as a municipality. So to me, it's a federal program. There's no need for the municipality to get involved in it. If people wanted to volunteer their rifles, they can take it up in University Avenue and do that. So I don't think we need to involve our police services. They're busy enough. They got a lot on their plate. So I think, like you say, it's a federal program. We'll keep it with the federal government. Thank you.
Councillor Pritchard, Ward 2.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd also like to just add some comments to the discussion this evening. So my research indicates that this program has been fraught with controversy across the country. There appears to be considerable misinformation in the media and on social platforms regarding the program, specifically around terminology defining an assault-style firearm and whether participation is voluntary or mandatory. To date, I believe there are only 2 jurisdictions that have participated, Cape Breton and Winnipeg. This suggests to me that other jurisdictions either do not support the federal legislation, believe the program targets law-abiding owners rather than criminals, and questions the nature of assault-style ban, or are concerned about the financial cost to taxpayers, which is estimated in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So these factors highlight the controversy and complexity surrounding gun control and lawful firearm owners' rights and provincial municipal jurisdictions. So it's to my understanding, some provinces are not permitting provincially contracted and funded RCMP to administer the program, as it's an administrative compensation program rather than a primary policing issue. The OPP have refused to participate in the collection and confiscation aspects of the program, and outside of Cape Breton and Winnipeg, I have not found any evidence to support other municipal police services participating. So in my view, our police services face many municipal level crime and safety concerns that require their immediate attention. Diverting time and resources from these priorities to participate in the program is not an efficient use of municipal resources. In my view, the program does not constitute a primary policing issue for the city of Charlottetown. Therefore, I'm not willing to support the program. I'm not going to support the resolution this evening. And as many indicated, it is a federal mandate. And I believe that it should follow through the federal processes that are occurring and not be at a municipal level. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Twill. Go ahead there.
Thank you. I had the opportunity yesterday, along with 2 or 3 other elected officials, to attend the meeting at the Rod's Royalty Inn, which was hosted by the gun owners. It was a very informative session. It's unfortunate the rest of council didn't have the opportunity to hear the meeting. I thought the meeting was very cordial, very respectful, and it certainly brought a lot of information and put the proper context as to what's behind this particular initiative. An initiative by the federal government that was never discussed in the House of Commons. No legislation ever passed. But nonetheless, it was done in order in council. So we talk about openness and transparency, null and void. Null and void. It's such a good program, it should be able to stand on its own. But we've heard about municipalities across Canada, we've heard from provincial governments that have said no to this particular program. It seems to me that the emphasis is put on law-abiding, legal gun owners that go through proper training on a consistent basis, report to the authorities, such as in this particular case, the RCMP, accounted for, responsible, and consistent in their due diligence to make sure that all firearms are safe, but there doesn't seem to be any emphasis put on illegal gun owners and illegal guns that are on the streets in this country. That's where, to my mind, the federal government, I think, has missed the boat. I think the priorities are misplaced. Instead of targeting or going after illegal gun owners, the emphasis should be on illegal gun owners that are being smuggled in across the border in from the United States into Canada, particularly in provinces like Quebec and Ontario, along with drugs. Some are manufactured in this country, but a lot of it's being smuggled into the country. So I think that, to my mind, Safety Canada and the minister responsible need to change the priorities. And let's respect the legal gun owners and the accountability mechanism that they must adhere to, and let's start going after the real culprits in our society. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Councillor Twill, and maybe we can write a letter or something, but for tonight, I'd like to get back to the resolution at hand, is whether or not we as the City of Charlottetown want to participate in this program and keep it kind of focused on what we are responsible to do tonight. I would like to call the question.
All those in favor? Of supporting the resolution? Yeah, it says right here, I have to go by, that the city enters into an agreement with the Federal Department of Public Safety. It's an emergency preparedness in relation to the assault firearms compensation. So it's affirmative resolution. All those in favor of it? All those against? 10-0. Councillor Twill? No. Okay, do you have another resolution?
Yes, yeah, there is
Protect,
Is it one of your baby's name again? Anna?
Anna Galvin.
Your Nana? Great baby. Bye, Nana. Merry Christmas. Okay.
Your Worship, Protective and Emergency Services Resolution Number 2, moved by Councillor Julie McCabe and seconded by Councillor Kevin Ramsey.
Thank you.
Let it be resolved that the city enters into a memorandum of understanding with the Prince Edward Island Ground Search and Rescue Organization to continue the partnership between Charlottetown Police Services and GSAR, and that the mayor and the CEO are hereby authorized to execute standard contracts and agreements to implement this resolution.
Okay. Questions called? All those in favor, please raise your hand. 10-0. I think you have a couple of two bylaw readings.
Yes, Your Worship, we have a City of Charlottetown Enforcement and Summary Proceedings Bylaw amendment. Amend the City of Charlottetown Enforcement Summary Proceedings Bylaw, number 2024-ESP-01, to improve alignment with the Municipal Government Act of Prince Edward Island, Sections 236 and 238. Strengthen enforcement provisions, clarify summary convictions offense, and expand on proceedings that can be processed through the Justice of Peace versus Provincial Court Judge. Moved by Councillor Julie McCabe and seconded by Councillor Kevin Ramsey. Let it be resolved that the bylaw now be approved as a city bylaw and it be entitled the City of Charlottetown Enforcement and Summary Proceedings Bylaw, number 2024 ESP-01, and it be read a second time at the next public meeting of council.
Just to clarify, this is the first reading.
First reading.
Councillor Beck. Do you want to
No, yeah, it has nothing to do with the bylaws. I didn't want to hold up the other part. I just have something about the report. I just want to, before Kent and Sean leave.
Okay, can we just finish
Yeah,
off these? and
yeah, I
then
just
we'll-
wanted to-
Is it all right, Councillor McCabe? Then we'll go to your report. He's going to, yeah, okay. So, shall I carry? Good? Okay. Want to read it again?
Your Worship, we have a first reading also of the City of Charlottetown Emergency Management Bylaw, bylaw number 2025-EM.01. Repeal the Emergency Measures Bylaw adopted July 12, 1999, and replace it with the Emergency Management Bylaw number 2025-EM01. The purpose of the Emergency Management Bylaw is to establish an emergency management program to outline organizational structure and procedures for the City of Charlottetown to effectively manage emergencies and disasters. Let it be resolved that the City of Charlottetown Emergency Management Bylaw 2025-EM-01 be read a first time, moved by Councillor Julie McCabe and seconded by Councillor Kevin Ramsey.
Shall I carry? Okay.
Let it be resolved that the bylaw now be approved and the city bylaw, and that it be entitled the City of Charlottetown Emergency Management Bylaw number 2025-EM-01, and that it be read a second time at the next public meeting of council. Moved by Councillor Julie McCabe and seconded by Councillor Kevin Ramsey.
Okay. Good. Okay, and then there is enforcements. Again, those have been dealt with. Now I want to deal with the report, correct? Can he ask a question? Thank you. Councillor Beck.
Thank you, Your Worship. Page 211, it's just going back to the abandoned and vacant buildings. With regards to the first property, it was referenced in there that the building had done work to it with the new roof. It still remains boarded up, still has a vehicle that's been sitting in the lawn for 7 or 8 months that hasn't moved. What are the next steps with regards to that property? I do know that when we looked at our unsightly premises bylaw, this property was identified as being on a time clock for remediation and reparation or demolition. Just wondering where we are with that and what is the end date for that property that we're looking at in order to, so maybe if you can comment on the repairs, next steps, and the end date for that particular property, first of all.
Yeah, well, what I can tell you is we did have a lot of discussion because I figured that that was going to be a question you'd want more clarity on. And we did have really good discussion to try and identify, and we had discussion, I think, about maybe trying to develop a little more clearly defined policy around some of that, because the response at that point is when someone starts to show initiative. So if they repair their roof on a house that's decrepit or on our list, that's showing good faith so that they're starting to work. That was the reasoning that we were provided with. So there was no real clear timeline to say it needs to be 6 months. Like the 18-month timeline, they're using good faith when people are trying to get people in to do repairs and improve it. That was my understanding of the discussion we had. I think our committee had asked, though, for something a little bit clearer to provide, like, what is reasonable. Didn't we discuss that? And you can further into that, Bob, you were in that too. But it was kind of what they justified is you can't, it's a gray thing. You can't go in and say it has to be 18 months between constructions and contractors and getting people out, but if people are showing good faith, it really wasn't clear when we had discussion. But if you have something that I could explain it better, then have at it.
Thank you, Chair. Just in this particular case, they are showing good faith, but I think what we would like to do is keep it on the same timeline that we've had. And the only thing that would change that really is a building permit, where a building permit or occupying the building, which would make it then an occupied building. A building permit would give it a year to actually get a certain amount of work done, and it would become a building that's under renovation or construction, which it really wouldn't fall as a vacant building at that time. So I don't know if that clears it up any or not, but in this case, it's still going to be on the 18-month time frame. And the actual, when the 18 months is up, I don't have that exact date, but I'll have that for committee next week.
Councillor Beck.
Yeah, I guess this is where this property has been talked about for
Years.
15,
No, more.
more.
Yeah,
So
25.
if I'm hearing you correctly, a building permit could, let's say the end date is April 30th. You could come in with a application on April 28th and get another year added on to do the build. Am I hearing that correctly, or am I misunderstanding that?
Councillor McCabe.
Because I think what happened was, I'm going to go back to the lack of clarity and the gray area. I think our Kent and our staff have worked regularly and repeatedly with this property. The 18-month comes to that's kind of like, I've been told all along, that's kind of the final point. Like, we've exhausted all the discussions. We've exhausted all the attempts to remediate, repair, or whatever. So therefore, that 18-month, which I still contend is too long of a time, but I've been overruled on that, and I'll let that go. But the reality is, we're sitting here now, we're a good 12 months into, near 12 months into this particular property. And what I'm hearing tonight is that we're still gray. And we're still potentially looking at a building permit or something. So could you clarify that for me again? Because that's kind of what I heard. So I'd like to know if that is the case, because.
Councillor McCabe, do you want to defer that to?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the confusion comes when there's unsightly property, there's unsafe property, there's a bunch of different things that are not what you're talking about, right? I think it's really important, and that's why we had a discussion to clarify and bring this a little bit better. Because there's about there's fire safe, unsafe, then there's under police, unsightly, and whatever, dangerous, but dangerous doesn't mean fire not safe. Like, it's way too broad. So that's what we were hoping to kind of bring in a little tighter, but I'm going to let you explain it because I can't answer it clearly because I don't understand.
Deputy?
Councillor, from Chair. I think this property's been unsightly, that type of thing for a lot of years, and that's kind of where we were. And then it's become vacant, and now we're dealing with it as vacant property. I mentioned the building permit thing, it might have caused more confusion. If that was just the same as the building was sold, new owner would have some time to apply for a permit and get it fixed up, that type of thing. So that's all that would be. We are treating this just like a vacant building, and it's still on the timeline that was originally posted from when it was secured. So the exact date of that, I need to get that for next week's meeting. So I hope that clarifies it a little more.
Councillor Beck, third question.
So this particular owner of this particular property could not apply for a permit on April 28th and then extend this another year, because we've been extending this property forever and a day. And so is that the case? This particular, so if the property gets sold and someone comes in, wants to do something to the property, that's a different scenario. But this particular property, which we've given an additional 18 months to remediate in 12 months, it's still boarded up. It's still uninhabitable. And it was boarded up because it was uninhabitable. The question about whether it's a vacant property or an unsightly property, it's uninhabitable. It was deemed to be unsafe, and it was boarded up for that reason. So I think if we're going to have this policy, let's act upon it. I agree with trying to work with property owners to remediate. Some of these other properties that have been on there are now off the case, which is great. You know, so in this particular one, I would appreciate knowing where we are with the end date in terms of this and what that might look like. So that might be a little bit more information that we could bring. You can bring that back at some point in time. Thank you.
Okay, so just for the public record, what's your question? Your question is, we want it on the public record. What are you asking for on the public record?
Public record, I want to know when the end date of this is. It's mentioned here, all it's mentioned in here is house repairs have been done, or roof repairs have been done. There's nothing in terms of what the next steps are with that building or what the end date is, because we did put that property on the clock on about a year ago.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking to.
Councillor Kate.
End date meaning when we will bring it to council for demolition.
When that 18-month period, that's part of our
But at the
bylaw,
end of 18
is up.
months, that's what it would be. It would be in order to take down, or we'd go in and take down the property. Is that what the end of the 18-month is?
Yeah, and our recording clerk just told me that it's since 1995, this property has been on the city's radar. Okay, good, sir.
No, I just have another question.
You're up, a different item?
Different.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's on the same file.
Okay,
I just think there might be one property missing, and I would ask if you could maybe explore this. It's on University Avenue. It's a property that's been boarded up. I don't know, I don't see it on here, but I assume that it might be in the same situation. So if we could get, when we're getting that clarification on the end date, if we could find out if we could report on what the status of that is as well too, because I've noticed it's been sitting there boarded up it'd be right across from Papa Joe's.
Yep, and what we've asked is anybody, in your case, if you hear anything, you could have the property owner email so that they become aware of those properties, or you can email the date so that they can look. Like, they will go and follow up once they have it. If they drive around and they see it, that's what we were asking. Like, they don't have someone to go around and inspect all the properties to see. They need to get a report or a complaint or a concern filed in those cases. I mean, if they saw the one on University Avenue, you'd probably follow up with it, but they want to know those addresses.
Councillor Beck's concern is raised, correct? University Avenue across from,
What's the status?
okay.
I'm concerned about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe if you could just email Kent that address, and that can be added to your follow-up list. That would be an operational thing. Yeah.
Councillor Twill.
I think there are situations when we're talking about property owners that sometimes property owners are struggling, and sometimes they don't have the capacity. And sometimes there's other issues at play that I don't want to discuss here publicly. But I think we have to, as a city and as a council, it's one thing to work with a property owner. It's another thing to truly understand the struggles and the difficulties that they're undertaking and that they have to go through. And maybe we can introduce some type of mechanism where we can help assist a property owner when dealing with a property. Maybe that's new chartered waters. I'm not sure. But there has to be a compassionate factor that enters these equations. Because some of these property owners, believe it or not, they're trying. They really are. They're trying. I see them. And sometimes it's just too overwhelming for them. So we got to be careful here. It's great to say, yeah, this property's been around for a long time, and let's put a timeline, and let's go in with the bulldozer and the payloader and the excavator and everything else that goes with it. But sometimes a property owner is struggling through no fault of their own. There's other issues at play. And we got to be careful here in how we categorize and how we label and how we have these discussions, particularly in an open forum. We have a lot of capable people here at City Hall, whether it be the fire department, police department, or public works department, all departments. Surely, I think our CIO can put together some type of a program where we could help assist these property owners. Again, we might not think it, but some of these property owners are truly overwhelmed and they're struggling. I go by their properties, and I actually see them trying to do something. We don't think there's any progress being made, but they believe that they're making progress. It's all in the perception, so let's look at this from a compassionate point of view as well.
Thank you, Councillor Twill. Okay, good. Okay, let's go to the chair of the Standing Committee for Planning, Development, and Heritage, Deputy Mayor Lanny Akoff.
Thank you, Your Worship, for that introduction. Mercy. So, thank you, by the way. So, just quickly, the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee has not met since our last council meeting. Planning and Heritage Committee has also not met. The Planning Board met both on Tuesday, or on December the 2nd. The Heritage Board met on November 24th, as well as December the 4th. And the Design Review met on Monday, November 17th. All of the copies of the reports and minutes are in your packages. And I also would just note that you can also see at the end of the report, the listing of permits applications issued up to November the 25th. And this evening, we have 5 resolutions, and I'm just going to change the order just quickly, and we're going to start off with our Heritage Board Resolution Number 1, and then we'll continue on with the others in that order, because Councillor McCabe is pressed for time this evening, and I would like her to be here for as many of these resolutions as possible. So we'll start with that one. And just before that one goes up for reading, I just would quickly ask for a friendly amendment on that. It doesn't affect the outcome of the resolution. It's still the same thing, that the request to not recommend the 45-day temporary designation. But I would just note that normally in our packages and in our resolutions, we don't confuse matters with having 2 different recommendations, one from staff and one from the Heritage Board. So I would just ask that we just do that quick friendly amendment. And I've even just made the quick, if we look at the resolution, I'd just like it to read, it's, the resolution is on page 91, and that I just would like it to be read that the Heritage Board's recommendation, not the request, that a 45-day temporary designation, the bottom of it is, can I find it? Yeah, exactly. Not be placed on 1B. So really, we're just taking out from the comma down to the other comma, because it's really redundant, and we're replacing the word request with recommendation, because that's what it is. So if I can just move that friendly amendment. Do I have a seconder? Perfect, thank you. And I can call the question.
Okay, well, we should read the resolution first.
Okay.
Yeah, just one sec. Yeah, just read it.
Yeah, we just need the amendment before we can then speak to the resolution.
I'm just going to get the amendment. I know, but
And then I'll speak to the resolution as well.
we'll deal with the report. We'll deal with the report. Okay. Yeah. Can you make that amendment?
We don't know, no, he's just going to read out with the amendment, and then that way, then everyone can then speak to the resolution.
Correct. Go ahead.
Your Worship, Planning and Heritage Resolution Number 5, put to Number 1, moved by Deputy Mayor Lana Yankoff and seconded by Councillor Julie McCabe. Let it be resolved that the Heritage Board's recommendation that a 45-day temporary designation not be placed on 1B West Street, PID number 365833, be approved.
Is your amendment there?
Yep, that's right, that's correct.
That's
Now, I
correct.
just want to,
Okay. Can you speak?
yep. So I think Councillor McCabe seconded that.
Yes.
Oh,
Do you
Yeah.
wish to speak to it?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. So, thank you for that. So, yeah, so back to the resolution at hand. So obviously, I will be supporting this resolution to not put a 45-day temporary designation on the property at 1B West. First, the property owner has not requested this designation and has explicitly said they do not want it. Second, the Heritage Board, Council's own advisory board, and the last group to review this file did not support a temporary designation. And we thank the board that deliberated and did their work on this. Third, Section 3.4 in our Heritage Preservation Bylaw is a very extraordinary tool. It is meant for situations of imminent, irreparable, or costly damage where we truly need an emergency brake. In this case, staff did not follow the direct heritage officer to council pathway described in 3.4 and instead chose the option of going through Heritage Board, which is great. They are our recommending body. So, so they have recommended that we do not put the 45-day temporary designation on there. Fourth, we do have some real questions about heritage that need to be addressed. But in this case, looking at this building built around the 1940s, and it's already located in the 500 lot area, which carries in itself its own built-in level of heritage protection and design control. So we're not taking away any unprotected property suddenly at risk, in a vacuum. Finally, we all know and have acknowledged that our current heritage preservation bylaw needs work. We already engaged in the process of developing a new, clearer bylaw that will include public input, and in that context, I'm very hesitant to stretch or aggressively interpret a flawed bylaw that we've all admitted is flawed, to impose a temporary designation that the owner does not want and the board did not support. So for me, it really just comes down to process, consistency, and respect for our new our own governance structure, in terms of section 3.4, needing to be clarified or amended going forward. I 100% support the work that needs to be done in terms of changing our heritage preservation bylaw. But in essence of this evening, I do not believe it is appropriate to use the temporary designation tool in this way on this property at 1B West Street. So for those reasons, I will be voting in favor of the resolution to not put a 45-day temporary designation on 1B West Street. So I thank you for that. Thank you.
Councillor Bernard.
Thank you, Worship. And thank you for that, Chair Alana Yankov. I agree 100%. The one thing that really bothers me about this is the second time. So we had this happen on Prince Street, and you know, this house has been up for 85 years, and all of a sudden a person wants to do some renovations, and let's put a hole in that. Let's go temporary designation for 45 days, see what we can find. It's in the 500 lot area. It looks to me from what I read that the owners looked at the rules. They were in a right. They applied for a permit, and then this is where all hell breaks loose. And this happened before. This is not a very good road for the city of Charlottetown to be going down. This is not fair at all. This is like you have a right to do something on your property, and you're following the rules, and you apply. Something else comes out of the woods that you never ever expected. And I look at this property, and it's been built in 1940s. It's been there 85 years. There's a number of sales, and there was never a whisper about the possibility of this being a heritage property. My grandfather was lieutenant governor from 45 to 50. Don't see his house. They haven't been looking for his property to be designated heritage. So anyway, to me, I agree with you on this resolution, and I will be voting in favor of it. I think that the people have a right to do the renovations they want to do. Thank you.
Comments? Just, Councillor Peck?
Yeah, I supported the heritage staff, I guess, at the heritage meeting, and I won't be supporting this one here tonight. And I guess I'm not supporting it for a variety of reasons. You know, just to go back to what the deputy said, in terms of board recommendation, we've often overridden board recommendations in the past. That's not new. We've done that. In terms of the heritage value, I think that's kind of the question here. And I think that's what the 45-day determination will allow us to ascertain. It's not stopping the development. It's not stopping the eventual remediation required on the building. We have a discrepancy in terms of, or a differing point of views in terms of what the heritage value is. Our heritage professional staff gives it a score of 85, which is very high. Preliminary, that's a preliminary score, etc. The applicant has a different perspective on that. What I would think the 45-day designation would do is allow a third party to determine what is the heritage value. We are talking about a very significant streetscape in Charlottetown. And if we're going to be priding ourselves on heritage, if we are going to be taking heritage seriously and using it to help better our city and to keep our city strong and to preserve our heritage, I think we have to exhaust the possibilities to make sure that we don't leave any stone unturned. And that's what I see this 45-day designation as happening. And that will allow us to come back and have a little bit, Councillor Twill, a little better sense in terms of what it is. Because right now, as I stated at the Heritage meeting, we're dealing with opinions, and everyone's kind of got their own opinions. I'm kind of looking for a neutral party to come in and say, you know what, here's where we are and here's what I recommend. We do that with design review. We go to design review and we get design reviewers to come in and say, does this building match with it? The other thing about it too, in terms of the property, I think our heritage staff has done their job in terms of flagging it for council. And they're the heritage experts. I'm not a heritage expert. And so I think what this does in the 45-day period gives us a little bit more time before we go down a road that may be, once it's done, it's irreversible. We can't get it back. So I would support the 45-day review. Get the third party to come in and look at it and say, determine what the heritage value is so that we can comfortably say we've exhausted all forms. But right now, I'm not comfortable in supporting the decision because I don't think we've examined everything from all angles. And that's what I'm looking for, and that's why I supported it at the Heritage Board meeting. And I would like to get this done as quickly as possible so that the applicant can go on and get on with dealing with the property in the best way possible. So, thank you.
Deputy?
Yep, and thank you for that, Councillor Beck. And I just wanted to reiterate that this building dating back around 1940, it's already located within the 500 lot area, which carries in its own built-in level of heritage protection and design control. So we're not talking about an unprotected property here suddenly at risk in a vacuum. It's already in the 500 lot. So I'm very confident to support Heritage Board's recommendation, and that is to not put forward a 45-day temporary designation.
Councillor Twill? Councillor McTard?
I think when you look at applications of this particular nature, the applicant approached the planning department, filled out an application to add on a garage, and then it got flagged. I don't know if you can draw the same parallel with what took place in 10 Prince Street. The owner owned the property for X number of years, was working with the planning department, and then all of a sudden, it's declared, or designated a heritage designation. Council voted against the will of the property owner. That issue is still before IRAC. We have not received any confirmation whatsoever as to where that is. Look at the track record of the property owner. I look at a property that he owned, him and his wife and his family, on Queen Elizabeth Drive. The McNutt property. They did renovations, added a garage. Beautiful, beautiful addition to Queen Elizabeth Drive. Drive by and have a look. Fantastic. I have all the confidence in the world that with the addition of the garage and what they're looking to do, I believe they would add to the significance of that property, not detract in any which way, shape, or form. So when you talk about going the extra mile or no stones left unturned, they do that, and they've proven it. And it's not designated a heritage property, but I truly believe they treat it as such because of all the homes and all the buildings that are on West Street. They're only going to add in a significant way. Again, I refer you back to what I said about Queen Elizabeth Drive and the McNutt property. They did a fantastic job. They spent, I wouldn't even want to begin to imagine how much money they spent there. So I'll be supporting the board's recommendation, but I do want to bring to your attention, the Irving Oil property. You talk about heritage. Here we are, council voted to add an extension to that property, which is supposed to be heritage. I'm not sure if that's consistent with heritage as to what's there when you add something to that property, that building, which doesn't remotely resemble or reflect what's already there. So it just seems to me, whether, I don't believe the intention is, there seems to be a lot of different standards, folks, and I'm not saying they're deliberate. That's how I view it. There seems to be just too many different standards.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I know in old Quebec, buildings date back 200 years old. They've added modern amenities to it because if you didn't, it would be considered as fake history. So I think what we're trying to do is promote today going forward. Could I just ask the deputy? Deputy, it says on page 84, so the building was built between 39 and 40, correct? So the sun porch and garage is what they want to remove? Was that garage always there on the north end?
Yep, as far back as there's always been a garage there. There's been a lot of renovations happen, like in the 80s, the Rod family put a sunroom on. When the folks that owned it as a bed and breakfast turned the sunroom actually into a bathroom. So there's been many iterations of the property, but the overall core front area, which the homeowner plans to keep as is, will still have that beautiful historic West Street feel of, when the horse and wagons go up the street. I mean, it's a beautiful street, so yep, it's all there.
Thank
So
you. Councillor
thank
Bernard?
you for that.
I still think for me, at the end of the day, as was said here, it's in the 500 lot areas. When a person buys a piece of property in the 500 lot area, they know what they're getting into. And it's somewhat disturbing to find out a little later, we follow these rules, we want to improve our property, we're in the 500 lot area, we know what those rules are, and bang, boy, when we apply for that building permit, something like this comes down where someone else wants to come in and say, I think that's heritage. I think we're going to hold off for 45 days, find out what we can find out, and maybe make it heritage. I think it's wrong. I think you buy the property, it's in the heritage 500 lot area, you know the rules. If the city wants to get down this road, then maybe the city needs to have staff go out and start identifying what should be heritage designated homes that aren't. I think it's wrong, because this is like the 11th hour, we're coming in and making changes.
Deputy?
Thank you for that, Councillor Bedard. And the great thing is, we've got some amazing tools in place. Kudos to the staff for those. We have our zoning and development bylaw. We're working on those changes. We have a new official plan waiting for ministerial sign off. And so when we start really getting into the nuts and bolts of this new zoning and development bylaw, I would encourage all staff, all residents to come out and have their say. And also, when we do work on the need for this new heritage preservation bylaw that we're working on, that's where we can engage the folks that own properties in areas that might be considered historic areas, and they can be involved in what we want our new heritage preservation bylaw to look like, so that we're not doing to somebody, we're doing with them if it should be something that we move forward on. So, yeah, anyways.
Question. Question's called. All those in favor? You're not here, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Press it again.
I'm going to challenge you on what you said about Quebec City and building zone, that you can't have fake, what, did you use fake heritage?
No, you've used it before. Fake history.
Fake history,
Yeah.
right, regardless. Well, those same arguments were made about the Royal Bank down at Queen Street. I can remember those debates and those discussions. And if you look at what the Royal Bank did and what they did and how it's fitted in the streetscapes and the landscape of this city, I think it was a remarkable achievement. So I disagree with what you said.
Yeah.
And case in point is the Royal Bank down in Queen Street. They did a fantastic job. And if Ken Gillis was here today,
Yeah.
he'd be saying the same thing.
Yeah, and I want to give Philip O'Halloran credit for what he did with the old co-op. Built a condo there and mixes right in very well with the landscape. Question called? All in favor? So this is in favor of the resolution. No, it's just 40, which is not be placed on, okay, can you just put it back up there, just so you can see, Councillor Arana, I want to make sure that the Heritage Board's recommendation that a 45-day calendar day temporary designation not be placed on 1B West Street be approved, correct? All in favor? Against? 9-1. Do you have to go? Thank you, Councillor McCabe, for your patience, and, yeah. What's the next resolution, page what?
It's, next resolution is Sydney Street, resolution. Page 32.
32. Yeah, I'm just going to take a quick recess, because some councillors have walked out. Could we just take a quick recess? Yeah, I want to make sure they're back here.
Yes,
Yeah.
can I go grab some coffee
Yeah,
then?
we'll just take a quick recess,
Do you want to come?
please.
Yep. Just bring, right?
Yeah. thank you for your patience. We just had to go into a brief recess to recalibrate our thoughts. And Deputy, do you want to read or CAO, Brad, do you want to read number one, resolution number one? I want to make it clear, Councillor Justin McTart has declared conflict of interest on this resolution, just for the public record. Okay, sir?
Thank you, Your Worship. Planning and Heritage Resolution Number 1, moved by Deputy Mayor Lanny Yankoff and seconded by Councillor Norman Beck. Let it be resolved that the following major variance from the subject property identified as 289 Sydney Street, PID number 339549 be approved. Permit a reduced minimum lot frontage of 7.1 meters, 23.2 feet for an interior residential lot, whereas a minimum lot frontage of 10.6 meters, 34.8 feet is otherwise required for a lot containing 3 dwelling units or less in the downtown neighborhood DN zone. If the major variance is approved, an application for the lot subdivision to subdivide the existing property to create a new vacant residential lot having the stated reduced minimum lot frontage will then be considered.
Question? Question? Question's called. All in favor? Okay, Councillor McCabe is absent, and can someone ask? Yeah, no, but he can come in now. Okay, sir.
Your Worship, Planning and Heritage Resolution Number 2, moved by Deputy Mayor Lanny Yankoff and seconded by Councillor Norman Beck. Let it be resolved that the following major variance for the subject property identified as 22 2nd Street, PID number 276873 be approved. To permit a proposed accessory building, detached garage, to project into the required side yard setback by 0.88 meters, 2.9 feet for the subject property in the R-2 zone.
Question's called. All in favor? Okay, 9-1 carried. Next one, sir.
Planning and Heritage Resolution Number 3, moved by Deputy Mayor Lanny Yankoff and seconded by Councillor Norman Beck. Let it be resolved that the request to consolidate existing abutting lots in the medium-density residential R-3 zone identified as 62 and 68 Violet Circle, PID numbers 778308 and 1188465 be approved subject to a final PIN survey plan.
Question's called. Great. All those in favor? Okay, 9-1. 8-1. Wait, no. No, sorry. 9-0. I have to. Yes, it was. Thank you.
Yep.
Go ahead, sir.
Planning and Heritage Resolution Number 4, Your Worship, moved by Deputy Mayor Lanny Yankoff and seconded by Councillor Norman Beck. Let it be resolved that the request to consolidate existing abutting lots in the medium-density R-3 zone identified as 43 and 49 Evelyn Street, PID numbers 1189505 and 1189513 be approved subject to a final PIN survey plan.
Question's called. All in favor? Against? Okay, 9-0. Okay, Councillor McCabe. Absent. Okay. Is that it there, Deputy? David? Mike? Natalie? Donna? Thank you very much. Next report is Councillor Kevin Ramsey, Standing Committee for Parks, Recreation, and Leisure. Yes, sir.
Sorry, is it on? Yeah. Thank you, Your Worship, for that. We met yesterday, I believe the 7th of December, and minutes are in your package. I believe we have one resolution in for your consideration. Any questions? We're willing to answer, sir.
Okay, any questions on the report? Okay. Resolution?
Parks and Recreation and Leisure Activities Resolution Number 1, moved by Councillor Kevin Ramsey and seconded by Councillor Bob Duran. Let it be resolved that council accepts the amendments to the attached City of Charlottetown minor sports subsidy policy.
Questions called? Okay, all in favor? Okay, 9-0. Councilor Bernard, did you have something to say?
It probably just should be noticed for the public record that this was housekeeping amendment.
For minor sports subsidy policy?
Exactly.
Yeah? Good. Okay. Okay, next report is water and wastewater utility. Councillor Bob Duran.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. The Water and Sewer Utility Committee did not meet in November. Someone canceled the last two meetings for us, so we're looking forward to having another meeting before the next council meets in January. So we don't have any resolutions for your consideration, but if you want to ask me anything about water and sewer, feel free. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Deputy?
Thank you. I just have a kind of a housekeeping question for you, Councillor Duran. When you said that somebody canceled your meetings, as chair, I think you're the only one that can cancel those meetings, so I'm just a bit perplexed. Do tell.
Councillor Duran.
Well, thank you. No, I just get a notice that it's canceled, and that's where we're at. So maybe Josh can enlighten us or give you answer to your question. But the last two meetings, actually, they asked the last meeting. There was a finance committee booked for the same time. There was something pressing. So, yes, that one was. I said sure, but the first one, the month before, it was canceled. That was just after I think our water and sewer utility contract was agreed upon. So I guess they needed a few days to get something involved, to get everything together, but we never had a meeting, so we'll just leave it with Josh to add to that. Thank you.
Thank you,
Josh.
councillors. Absolutely. So, no, we're looking to reschedule that meeting. We ended up not having time to pull everything together to have a meaningful meeting here this week, so we're looking to reschedule that prior to the holiday.
Okay. Councillor Twill. Yeah. Ward 4.
Thank you. Councilor Duran, I'm just wondering about the resolution passed by council regarding the consultant that's going to come in and do an independent review of the fiber optics. A couple of things. One is, do we have a timeline and time frame when that exercise will be completed? And then secondly, will that independent report come directly to council? And will the consultant be present here so that we can ask questions to the consultant specifically?
Councillor Duran.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Brown.
Thank you.
And thank you for your question, Councillor Twill. I'm sure when we get the report, it'll come back to our committee so we can discuss it, and then we'll go on to council. But when we have a meeting, I'll certainly see what we can do to discuss your concerns and get our manager to email you back. But if you'd like to add anything, Josh, feel free to go ahead.
Mr. McGinnis.
Thank you. Through the chair to Councillor Twill. Yeah, no, we have started work with this firm. We are fleshing out the scope to ensure that what they have proposed and what we desire both meet the needs and requirements. We believe they should be able to start here in the near future. We have a call coming up later this week to ensure that we are stepping off in the right direction. We don't want to go down one path and then realize we missed a couple items. So we do really want to start off on the right foot and then kind of hit it full force. So once we get that discussion done a little bit later this week, I hope to have a little better timeline as far as when they anticipate completion, but that will be shared with the committee.
Okay, Councillor Twill, follow up?
I know the city solicitors have been working on this file as well. Was the contract ever signed? I know the solicitors were working with city administration, and just wondering, was the contract ever signed?
Councillor Drawn, do you want to answer that? And I think the purpose of the value for money audit was to clear all that before we signed. I don't know, maybe you have more information?
No, I mean, you were attending our meetings, and, yeah, we couldn't get it signed. It's been delayed, and, you know, we give our comments, the person gets their comments back, and we just couldn't come to a head. So the committee, after 6.5 years, you know, are kind of exasperated of where we're going to go, or how do we get this completed. We're trying our best, and this was something that we felt that would get a third party in, make sure before we sign any contracts that we know that everything is in place, we're getting a good deal, and really to get the two parties together. So, you know, the committee came, and that's what we discussed. We're very frustrated, and you know, our manager's working hard on it, and we just got to get everything together. And hopefully this will be done in the next month or two, and, you know, it'll be back into council for a debate and hopefully a vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Drawn. Okay. Public Works. Standing Committee, Public Works. Albert is online. He's online as your backup. Albert Gashies, Chief Engineer. Yes. Okay. It's your floor.
Thank you. As you know, we had a presentation here from CBCL regarding stormwater management, and to entertain a policy dealing with stormwater management. Great discussion on Queen Street, broken down into 3 phases. Looking forward to the next step in the process. Hopefully that'll be discussed, I guess now in the new year, as to where we're going with a project of that magnitude, a very complex project, but a project nonetheless. It's very important to the residents of Queen Street and other neighborhoods in the city of Charlottetown. I want to bring to your attention a concern I have that I've shared with Public Works Management. I also shared it with our CAO. I'm very concerned about North River Road, particularly the intersection of Capitol Drive, North River Road, the traffic backed up into Capitol Drive when left-hand turns are being made when the traffic is going south in North River Road into the SO to go to McDonald's. It's very problematic. It's a very precarious situation, and I'm very concerned about that intersection and that traffic backed up into Capitol Drive. So I don't know what we can do. I mean, we do have a long-term plan. There has to be something we can do in the interim to facilitate a better traffic flow. That's a very scary proposition. The last thing we don't want is an unnecessary accident in that intersection. So I know our CAO is taking notes. I'm sure he's going to be discussing it with their manager. And I hope that we can have something done from an interim perspective to alleviate that traffic backed up into Capitol Drive. That is a very, very scary situation. And I'm not one bit pleased that this is continuing on. I want to bring to council's attention, last week we had the Sherwood Sports Recreation Master Plan Open House, community engagement. Online surveys ran through the month of November. survey had 263 respondents. The consultants, DSRA, used this feedback to design 4 design options for the area to present to the open house. DSRA presented the 4 design options, as well as survey results overview at the open house on December the 4th, 2025. Approximately 50 residents attended, including local MLAs, attended this open house. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of positive feedback. Overall, residents were very engaged, providing feedback to help shape the next step in this process. Using the feedback brought forward from the residents, a consultant will develop a revised space programs for the site. We are, and I stress we are, still at the very preliminary early stages of this process, so no final option recommendations can be provided at this time. The path forward is ultimately based on the results of the Cody Banks Arena building conditions assessment report, which is expected to be completed in the new year. However, the consensus is the Sherwood Rec Hall is a priority to be replaced. As this cross-committee, cross-departmental projects from Parks and Recreation as well as Public Works, there is an internal review being conducted to ensure the future space design is optimized to meet the needs identifying both departments. So I'd like to reiterate, there's a lot of excitement with this particular project. 4 options, and I think this is great news for the city of Charlottetown. It's great news for the community of Sherwood, as well as the people in Parkdale and East Raleigh. I think it's fantastic. And I do want to pay tribute to the expo that was held for the people of persons of disabilities. I think the board did an excellent job with that expo that was held at Simmons. I want to pay tribute to Amber Robb and Tracy Stevenson. Their dedication and their diligence was above and beyond the call of duty. As a result of their hard work, that event come off in a very professional-like manner. So, Mr. CAO, could you please pass on, the excellent work that those people played an indispensable role in the hosting of that event.
Okay.
Reports in your package. I'll do my best to answer any questions.
Councilor Ramsey.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Councillor Twill, and I apologize for not being there Thursday. We had a family commitment for that, and we as Parks and Recreation are willing to work, or we're very happy to work side by side with Public Works for this project. We're still waiting for the evaluation for the Cody Banks, but we all know that there's a new rec center should be looked at and built out there, but we got to wait until we get all the facts and the figures in and see if it's going to be added on to a new rink or if the rink's going to last for another 10 years. So if that happens, we're just going to probably have to go with a separate rec center out there. But we want to wait and make sure that everything's looked after. But we're very pleased to be working with Public Works alongside this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ramsey. Thank you very much. Okay. Environment, Sustainability, Standing Committee, Councilor McKinnon. And Jessica Corcoran is here. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. Environment Sustainability Committee met on November 25th. Draft minutes are included in your package. There's no resolutions for your consideration. I'd just like to share a few notes. Last month's transit ridership was over 135,000 trips with a weekday average of 5,400 trips in Charlottetown. 5,473 trees, shrubs, and plants were planted by city staff and many volunteers. These plantings restored over 8,000 square meters of natural areas in Charlottetown. It's a record-breaking year in plantings for the Environment and Sustainability Department. The bike bus ran successfully this fall with 3 schools. One of the schools running until the end of November, with the kids driving in toques and gloves. Staff attended the PEI Teachers Federation Conference to promote the bike bus program in Charlottetown. and across the island, and are looking forward to welcoming more schools in the spring. At the Accessibility Expo on December 3rd, City and T3 staff had a bus on hand or on site to demonstrate the accessibility features, including the kneeling and wheelchair ramps features. Wheelchair users and others with mobility limitations appreciated the opportunity to learn that T3 Transit in the capital area's accessibility to move around the city. Any questions, myself or Manager Jessica Corkin-Girl will try and answer them. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Councilor McKinnon. Quiet in the Western Front. Jessica? No resolutions? No? Okay. Thank you, sir. Finance. Finance, Audit, Tender and Administration, Councillor John McAleer.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. Finance Audit and Tendering Committee, Finance Committee met on December 9th. Minutes are in your package. There's one resolution for your consideration, and I'll do my best to answer any questions I can and redirect what I can't. Thank you.
Okay. Finance Audit and Tendering. Do you have one resolution there, CAO? Okay, go ahead.
I do, Your Worship. Finance and Audit and Tendering and Administration Resolution Number 1. Moved by Councillor John McAleer and seconded by Councillor Terry Bernard. Let it be resolved, the council approves the budget transfer of capital funds in the amount of $100,000, which was initially budgeted for a fast rescue craft purchase, which is now on hold to enable them to utilize the funds in procuring some essential and time-sensitive equipment, and that the reallocation of these unused funds will ensure continued progress on critical operational needs, prevent project delays, and support fiscal stewardship by utilizing available resources within the organization. And further, that this transfer will allow Charlottetown Fire to meet its mandated obligations for the fiscal year.
Okay. Councillor Beck.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you.
I just have a question about, so we originally put in 100,000 for the fast rescue craft.
Yep.
That won't be, we can't realize that this year. So we're gonna take that money and reapply it to critical operational needs, I forget the other wording, and mandated obligations. Could I get some clarification on what are these critical operational needs that we're meeting and the mandated obligations that we're fulfilling? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Beck, for that clarification. Kent, do you able to come and give the clarity to Councillor Beck on that? Thank you.
Councillor Beck?
Yes.
Through Chair. Yeah, so it's increase in costs and equipment needs as far as PPE, gas detection equipment, that type of thing, which is critical for safety operations, and an increase in some truck maintenance and that type of thing as well.
Okay, good there. Councillor Beck, you want follow up? Yeah, just stand up there, sir. Yeah.
So what you're saying is we originally had forecasted to spend X amount of dollars on PPE. We found out that it was much more expensive or more expensive than we thought. Gas detection equipment was more expensive than we thought. Truck maintenance was a little more than we thought. Is there any other? So we're taking that money, reallocating it over there. Isn't that more of an operational thing, truck maintenance? Gas detection, are they not more like even PPE, are they not more of an operational, as opposed to a capital? I see the capital come in and, so is that, are we reallocating our money in the proper manner? I guess is my question, and I'm asking that out of, because I don't know.
Councillor McAleer.
Yeah, no, thank you again, Councillor Beck. And I think this stems from this whole, the original budget, and probably even going back to prior year's budget, was funding for the potential replacing of the, I don't know if I'm going to have the right terminology, the safety craft down the harbor. And that's led to kind of a bigger discussion in terms of possible funding partners for that craft, and so that. But the particular fund or particular request here to move 100,000 of dollars has to do with money that was perhaps allocated for that purpose, but there was no action. There was no action on the finishing that safety craft. So it's still something that the committee is dealing with in terms of the overall replacement of a craft and who's going to fund it. So I don't know, and maybe I don't know if this CAO or Kent can add to that or.
AO or the
Your Worship,
deputy?
I just want to ensure that Councillor Beck's question is, I think what I heard is it okay to transfer capital money to operational in that? And we have Isaac here that could, our Assistant Manager of Finance, if you want to weigh in there, Isaac, on
Thank you, Your Lordship, and thank you, Chair. I think per our existing budget transfer rules that I've seen, I haven't seen that a prohibition. However, looking at the critical nature of the request that was made, and then considering the fact that what the budget was allocated for, it's a fund that has been approved by council, yes, but if we don't utilize it, of course, we are definitely not going to carry it forward, and the project is not going to happen. And so if we can make use of that funds this fiscal period or fiscal year for them to be able to secure this time-sensitive equipment, it is under that consideration that we are seeking the mandate or the approval of council to grant us the request.
So just in the first paragraph, it says, which is now on hold, enable them to utilize the funds in procuring some essential and time-sensitive equipment. That's what the money's going to be used for. In the second paragraph, the reallocation of these unused funds will ensure continued progress in critical operational needs, prevent project delays, and support fiscal stewardship by utilizing available resources within the organization. So they're not being used for operation. My understanding, we were at the meeting, it was to buy equipment. Equipment is a capital asset. And that equipment was to ensure continued progress in critical operational needs, prevent project delays, and support fiscal stewardship. Councillor Bernard.
Yeah, I'll try and add some clarity to it, Your Worship. So the 100,000 that was put into the rescue craft was put in for some repair work that was going to be done to the craft. It's been deemed the craft no longer usable, so they've taken it out of service. The 100,000 is to move into buying 100,000 worth of capital equipment that the department needs. So they've been asking if we could transfer that over. It's still capital. They're not going from capital operational. It's just small, expensive equipment. So that's what the ask was, and that's what we were approving.
correct? Human Resources. And Councillor Beck, I see we have a guest here tonight. Phoebe Power, daughter of Emily. Phoebe's in grade 3 at Lucy Maud Montgomery, right, Phoebe? Wow.
Phoebe's a little swimmer too.
Oh, is she? Yeah. Well, Phoebe, are you going to sit up?
Pool the other day.
Yeah, you're going to sit up next to Mom? Come on up, sit up next to Mom. Now, you might be asked some questions. Councillor Tweely, any questions for Phoebe?
You can help.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, Human Resource Committee met on December 2nd, and the minutes of the meeting are in your package. We have one resolution for council's consideration. Just before we do get into that, I do want to thank council members who took the time to interview their managers or directors over the recently with regards to the 6-month CAO evaluation, which we've undertaken. We will have a report, looking forward to the report coming in on December 16th, I believe we're meeting. And Tuesday. And anyway, thank you for taking the time. Personally speaking, I had the opportunity to speak with several of our directors and managers, and I found the exercise very productive and informative. And I think it will allow us to work on, as we go through the interview process. I know MNP had the opportunity to contact you guys this past week as well. And we'll have a little snapshot of our assessment on how our Chief Administrative Officer is doing here over the next little while, and look forward to that report coming back and being presented to us next week. Any other questions? I will do my best to answer them. Thanks.
Okay, and we do have a resolution. Yep. Oh, Councillor Tweel, just 1 second. Is this a question for Phoebe or Emily? You ready, Phoebe? She said, yes, I am.
Thank you for your report, Councillor Beck. Just looking for a status report on QP 501 with respect to their negotiations. Pardon me?
It's not in the package.
So, I'm asking the question. So I'm just.
Tweel wasn't discussed, so.
Pardon me?
Just, do you want to answer it there?
I'm just looking for a status
Yeah.
report as to where we're at
Yeah.
with the negotiations with
Okay.
QP 501.
Yeah, I think it's not in the report. Do you want to answer it there?
It's not in the report.
Yeah,
I don't
can't do
think
that.
We deal with that.
Yeah. Okay. No, can we get a resolution read here? Is there a resolution?
Human Resources Resolution Number 1, Your Worship, moved by Councillor Norman Beck and seconded by Councillor Trevor McKinnon. Let it be resolved the council accepts the proposed 2% increase to management non-union salaries effective January 1st, 2026.
No, Councillor Tweel, got a question? Councillor Tweel?
Yeah, does the COLA clause, is that applicable here with this particular increase? Is that?
COLA applies to all our unions.
Pardon me?
Cost of living adjustment applies to all of our unions.
No, our solicitor's saying no.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, there's just no coal applicability so far this year because of
No.
low level cost of living.
So it's not applicable.
But COLA is part of our agreement.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. Yes. All unions.
But this is not,
Management non-union.
but this is non-union.
Right. But
Says
COLA
here,
applies here.
Non-union,
Yeah.
right?
Applies.
So it is still,
Applies.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, Phoebe? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead there, Councilor Ramsey.
Yeah, and as I said, like, I'm not into the union, so what one's this for? Like, who's who and is who? Like, we know that 8:30 was sewer and water and things like that. Is this for the staff up here and everything? Or- I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out who's it for.
Councilor Beck.
Norman? Oh, sorry.
I'll defer
I'm sorry.
Defer to Emily and Phoebe.
To Councillor Ramsey through your worship. The groups covered by this primarily are management, but there are some administrative staff. Our IT staff are in this group, communications, GIS coordinator, our executive assistants. Yeah.
No, the only reason I asked, your worship, we must have, what, 3 or 4 different unions here? Or 5 unions or whatever we got. We got one union.
8:30. Upsy. This union, which is management.
No, I just get, you know, I don't know
We got
who's
five.
who in the zoo, that's all.
We actually have 7
Management,
groups,
non-union.
We have how many?
7 different groups.
Set, police and fire.
Police,
Thank you.
fire,
Okay,
3
thank you.
QPs.
All covered by COLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2, 5, yeah.
Okay. Question called? All those in favor? Okay, 9-0. Is that it there, Councillor Beck? Okay. Economic Tourism, Cultural Development, Councillor Terry Bernard. And I see Mr. Long's here. Thank you, Phoebe. Come back anytime. Take some pop there. There's pop in the fridge and some pizza. Get some pizza. Thanks, Phoebe. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your Worship, our committee has not met since our last council meeting. We are actually due to meet tomorrow, so there's no resolution, no minutes to the package, but I do have some news I want to read out to council. Charlottetown's economic development has been impressive by most measures. I'm not talking about the Economic Development Committee, I'm talking about Charlottetown Economic Development. The committee has been impressive, but anyway. Charlottetown's economic development has been impressive by most measures. Why? Statistics Canada's monthly labor force survey has traditionally tracked data by urban areas rather than municipalities. In recent years, however, the agency has begun reporting on municipal labor force trends in 38 municipalities across the country, from Conception Bay, South Newfoundland and Labrador, to Burnaby, British Columbia, so across the country. Between August 2022 and August 2025, the City of Charlottetown's workforce expanded by 32%, increasing from 24,600 workforce to 32,400. This represents the fastest growth rate among the 38 municipalities by a wide margin, the second highest being Kitchener, Ontario, with 20% growth rate. So 20% to our 32%, the City of Charlottetown has done very, very well. The labor force survey also estimates population growth on a monthly basis for residents aged 15 years and older. Once again, Charlottetown leads all other cities covered by the survey, posting a 33% population growth rate over 4 years. While this is an estimate based on the survey data, the official population estimate for 2025 will come out as of July 1, will be released later this year. So pretty impressive numbers, to say the least, and tops in the country, and not even close. So pretty impressive. Other news, Your Worship, the Charlottetown Christmas Festival has been underway for more than 2 weeks. The final weekend of November featured a highly successful signature holiday weekend with the city's tree lighting and the Christmas parade, along with Discovery Charlottetown's Victorian Christmas Market, Mistletoe Market, and other activities drawing thousands to the city. And we did that. We would have seen that, especially during the parade. It was unprecedented. The festival continues until January 2nd, and we encourage residents to join in on the celebrations. I do want to take a minute here, Your Worship, to thank staff, especially Wayne and Charlotte, for the job well done in the tree lighting and for the parade and the planning. Job well done. Your Worship, we should give a shout out to Public Works crew for the work that they've done and continue to do downtown to make Charlottetown as beautiful as it is. So I'd like to put a shout out to them. And Your Worship, while I have an opportunity, I want to wish everyone a very happy and healthy Christmas season this year. This is probably our last public meeting before Christmas, so I want to wish everybody, like I say, a happy and healthy, very Merry Christmas. So,
Meetings left, Monday and Tuesday.
pardon me?
Monday and Tuesday, 2 more meetings.
Maybe
Just-
for some, but anyway.
I'll be showing up.
Any questions? I'll do my best to answer.
Do want to add, Jenna Doucette was there full force. She was great along with Charlotte and the whole crew. It was a great tree lighting, and the parade was wonderful.
Yeah, no, it was.
Okay.
It was something to be proud of, so, thank you.
Okay. Councillor Justin Matert, Ward 2. Strategic Priorities, Communications,
Thank
and
you, Your Worship,
Intergovernmental
and,
Cooperation.
Councillor Bernard, you know, it's interesting. I was thinking of given the Christmas year too, but we do have 2 or 3 more meetings.
Oh, yeah?
I will wait till the very end, so apparently this is too early to do it now. Yeah, this is the real public one, yeah, so. Well, on that note then, you know, I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and healthy, you know, prosperous New Year. The Strategic Priorities Communication Intergovernmental Cooperation Committee met on November 27th, 2025, and those minutes are in your package. We have no resolutions for your consideration, and if there are any questions regarding the report, I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you very much.
Looks good. Okay, we have a notice of motion. Number 711.
Notice of motion moved by Councillor Mitchell Tweel that the city examine the opportunity following the renovations of Harts Hall, that the hall serve as a key venue for the Festival of Small Halls series and explore partnerships with local music departments at UPI, Holland College, area schools and organizations to support a diverse range of performances in music, dance, and storytelling.
Okay. Yep, that's what it is in the procedural bylaw. We can speak to it. No. Councilman Tart, you can go right ahead.
No, I think Councillor Bernard was.
Well, you're there.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you, Councillor Tweel, for bringing that forward. I was interested in knowing if, you know, obviously opportunities here for some of the user groups that you identified here, but would that be thinking of providing that to them free of charge, or were we thinking of a nominal fee that probably aligns with some of our other rental fees that we have in, I think of like West Royalty Community Center and other areas? Because it doesn't specify, like, it's for the use of it, but is it from a rental perspective as well, or a leasing perspective? Like, what was your train of thought around that?
Councilor Twill.
I think basically what I wanted to do was just bring the idea forward. That would be flushed out by staff. The facility would be treated like any other facility that we have here in the city of Charlottetown, whether it be Hillsborough Hall or West Royalty Community Center. Staff would look at and come up with the appropriate fee that would be applicable in this particular case.
Yes, Bernard.
Thank you, Your Worship. What's the difference between this hall and Harts Hall or Malcolm Darragh Hall, or I'm sorry, Hillsborough Community Center? We have tenants that have been in this building for years, and they plan on going back in. So it's not like it's a new hall and we just start advertising whatever we want to do in there. We have people that are expecting to come back in. So I don't see the opportunity at that particular hall. I do in Malcolm Darragh, I do in Hillsborough, I do in West Royalty. But I know there was, even downstairs in the basement, I think staff have been looking at the possibility of some office spaces or whatever, because we're looking for office space. Other than that, all I can tell you for sure is that the tenants plan on coming back. They will be paying rent, but they're waiting to come back when the renovations are done. Thank you.
Councilor Ramsey.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. This is being repaired by Public Works, correct? It's under Public Works program. But then if you come to a rental, as Councilor Matard said or something like that, who's that fall under? Is it still under Public Works or is it under Parks and Recreation?
Parks and Rec.
I mean, once the building's finished, does it fall under Parks and Recreation? I guess is my question.
Yeah.
It's always been on.
Oh, no, I don't, I'm just trying to get it clarified. Thank you.
Just 1 second.
Harts Hall has always been under Public Works. Yeah, because we've had one tenant in there for the last probably 15, 20 years now. But what I think where you're talking about Parks and Rec is our other community centers, the rentals are looked after by Parks and Rec. The buildings and maintenance of the buildings are looked after by Public Works. So any rentals and that goes through staff at Parks and Rec. Thank you.
That's where we need a clarification policy going forward. Councilor Drawn.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your notice of motion, Councillor Twill. And I understand, you know, we had a tenant in there, but there's such a big price tag on this. You know, is this going to be open to everybody? Or does just one tenant come in at a certain price? Your notice of motion referred to like part-time, where after lunch or something, does the existing tenant only use it part-time? So, you know, there's a way that staff can look at it to see, you know, maybe we can get some finances back and get this fixed. But again, to be open to everybody to see, you know, what would be the best fit for that. That's great, and I certainly will support that. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Twill, you're on the lineup.
I think that, you know, it's pretty expensive price tag, $1.4 million. You know, I heard it again today, and I tried to suggest that, look, notice motion's coming to council tonight for council to explore the opportunity to work with, you know, this is a great venue for a festival of small halls. I think it'd be great for the community, great for the artists, great to form partnerships. I don't believe that we can just say, well, we had a group that was there before and we're going to give it back to them again. I don't think that's fair. We don't have that with other facilities in the city of Charlottetown. These renovations and facilities are paid for by the taxpayers, and I think there should be open, equal, fair process, fair opportunities for the residents in this city to have opportunities to use these facilities. You know, $1.4 million is a lot of money. We've got to open it up to the community. So maybe we can work with the previous tenant or the current tenant or whatever the case may be. But when we were going through all these deliberations, I'm being honest with you, I never anticipated that we were going to be going back just to one sole tenant, and that was going to be the conclusion. So that's why I brought in this notice of motion. And I think it'd be prudent to have this go back to staff, let them look at the possibilities, have a talk with the tenant that wants to come back. Maybe there's other options or other opportunities. Maybe we can work out something where they're currently at. But, you know, an expenditure of this magnitude, it's got to be opened up to the community. And I think it'd be advantageous and prudent enough for staff to look at this, whether it's, you know, Parks and Recreation, Cultural and Arts with, I think comes under your department, Councillor Bernard, cross-departmental staff could have a look and come up with something that could be a workable solution for everyone.
Okay, Councillor Beck.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with the motion. I guess I'm trying to understand. I've never set foot in Harts Hall, so I don't know what it looks like. You were talking about office space on the bottom floor. Is the main floor your typical community hall where you'd walk in, there would be a foyer, there'd be a common area with a stage at the end, maybe a kitchen, either on the side and the back, or what does it look like? Because, I mean, if we're looking to do something like a small performance center for the Festival of Small Halls to be used by Holland College, SOPA program to be used by the UPI secondary facility. I mean, they got their own.
They got their own concert
venues
halls.
going. Well, they both do. But
Florence
they may,
Simmons and UP.
yeah, they might be looking for
Brand new
something
ones.
more, or maybe school drama fairs. You know, the old Eastern School District drama festival, whatever it might be. But there's all kind, or maybe cultural events to go on. But I'm just trying to understand, what does the building look like inside?
Yeah, not much space.
And I don't know whether that's a question for Councillor Twill as the Chair of Public Works or whoever. I've never set in foot, so maybe you can just give me a little bit of an idea what that looks like.
I can, yeah. It's just up the street from my place. Very small.
Yeah.
I mean, seating, you might be able to get 50 people in there. But I think what Councillor Durand said, I kind of like that idea. We talk about a community service. It's being used for community service now through the Adventure Group. We asked them to vacate it while it was being renovated. So they're expecting to go back in. But as Councillor Durand brought up, maybe in the evenings, there's opportunity for what you're asking for. because I don't know what the hours, I think they're done around 4 or 5 o'clock in the evenings, I think. But anyway, staff could look into it, but if that being an opportunity, yeah, that could something that may very well work. But it's not a big building, and I understand that's probably why Public Works put a foundation. The other one didn't have a foundation under it.
No.
This one does, and it'd be a workable foundation, and there's going to be offices down there, so we've often heard about the city of Charlottetown looking for office space. So this was one of the things I've heard staff saying, that one of the reasons they were looking to put that foundation under was to make some more office space. And then once they did that, of course, full circle comes an elevator. And then to put an elevator in it, because you got the office space, you got to have it accessible. So, but the upstairs, that's not a big building. But is it something that could have small halls in the evenings? Yeah, possibly. Yeah, it's a good idea, actually.
Okay, Councillor,
Oh, yeah?
Councillor Twill, let's wrap it up there. Yeah.
Thank council for the discussion.
Yeah.
I do think we CAO, we sent it back to have looked, different departments look at what the options and opportunities are. And, maybe there's something that can be worked out with the adventure group as well. I just want to reiterate, we're spending that kind of money. We have to be all-inclusive when it comes to different community groups in our city. And I think we can get a lot of good, positive feedback out of this type of an investment. Let's just send it on to, CAO would
Director, we got our
determine.
director over here at Community Services. He has two departments that deal with that. Public Works and also Parks, Recreation, Leisure.
Yeah, but we also have a culture,
Yeah.
Doug Dumais.
Yeah.
Does a great job down at the Arts Guild.
Yep.
You get Doug to be involved as well.
Yep.
And let's just look at some options. That's all I'm suggesting, and I wanted to give an idea in the notice of motion.
It's notice of motion, so it'll be going back to the director, the CAO, and we'll get a report back.
We have to vote, right?
Yeah, I know.
But I
that's
have to do a question, if you don't mind, Your Worship.
Go ahead.
It seems like I'm getting a misunderstanding for notice of motions. I mean, this is
So am
something
I.
This is something that could have been asked through the CAO.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like every little tiny ask, we got to come with a notice of motion, which to me is ridiculous. And then have a big debate when nobody has a whole lot of information on it. But to me, this is not the intent of a notice of motion. And I think for something like that, not a bad idea, but run it by the CAO or get your manager to run it by the
The
CAO.
director, yeah. Yeah, no, I know this, I think we didn't catch it in the procedural bylaw, but if you go to Robert's Rules of Orders, notice of motion, it's just a notice. I've never heard it, like, it's in our procedural bylaw. I think we have to change that. Notice is only to give notice, not to have a debate and then vote on it. That's an actual resolution. Councillor Beck?
Point of order. Point of
No,
order.
Council-
I can recall Councillor Beck saying there was an amendment made to the procedural bylaw.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
that
talking
no, just a minute, in order for something to be advanced to a particular department,
Yeah.
council had to vote on it, correct?
Well,
So that's where that came from.
Yeah, no,
I didn't
that's what I'm saying. We have to-
I didn't introduce the amendment.
Yeah, no,
right?
I'm not saying you
Okay,
did.
so I'm just trying to follow the rules here.
We know the rules and.
Okay, great.
And
So-
procedural bylaw is something we have to
Okay,
look at.
yeah, okay.
Okay, we're moving it on. Moved,
No, one comment.
okay.
I haven't spoken.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Everyone else has spoken. Just on that point, I think what we're deciding here is, do we want our professional staff to invest time in doing what is outlined in the notice of motion?
Yes.
We defeated one or two last week, I think, or whenever, or last meeting. I think we defeated some. So we said, well, no, don't put time into it. Here, we're going to be deciding tonight, do we want staff to explore what Councillor Twill is looking for? Yes or no? And I think that's a prudent move. I think we say, do we want them to dedicate time and effort to the exploration? And I think that's what the purpose of it is here. That's why we're voting.
Well,
And I have,
again, Councillor
all
Bernard.
fairness, I think that's
all
already
due
been done.
respect, a notice of motion in Robert's Rules of Order is just to give notice. Doesn't have to be voted on. It can go to our director and go to the CAO. I didn't come in with the amendment.
But I think,
Did you want to say something?
Your Worship.
Good.
Your Worship, I think, though, the way that I interpreted it was, it gives an opportunity, because I think if we did what you were saying, which was just send a note to the director or send it to, it could just fall on deaf ears. and it doesn't get addressed. And that was happening. And as a result of that, this is a way to say we have a serious request by any counselor in the room here that would like to see something officially be promoted to a committee. It still may end up doing what, not going anywhere, but that wasn't happening. So whether we wrote this correctly or incorrectly, that was really what we were trying to solve the problem with.
Yeah. Well,
And because, many councillors were putting things forward and it was not being addressed accordingly. So this is a way to say, a motion has come forward. Does this council want to entertain that and have our staff, or have the staff, sorry, I apologize, not my staff, but have the staff spend time and effort to evaluate, assess, whatever they need to do, and come forward to the appropriate committee. And as Councillor Beck said, we shot down one or two of them here already because we felt there was no need to do this. So can't work one way one day and not work the other way the next day.
it can now work one way because number 6 on our agenda, council inquiries to be taken under consideration. He already gave, he asked about some issues that he wanted addressed, and as he mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, he thanked both Councillor McCabe and the other councillor for looking into those issues. I think that's where we should be looking at. Anyways, is it going to move on? Yep. Move on. Okay, good?
I just think that the questions being asked, staff would do that normally anyway. So, when the renovations were being done in the building, staff would have an idea of what was going to happen to the building after the fact. That's when you call Parks and Rec and you're looking for rentals, that's what they do. So I don't know it sounds like you want to just do it to one building. If you wanted to have them elaborate for more, you want them to look into the possibility of all 4 halls, what I would think, or community centers.
No, it's just one building. Okay. Yeah, we already voted on it. Ready to go? Good? Notice of motion? Moving on? Moving on? Good. Okay, we have new business. Any new business? You sure? Motion to adjourn? Ready to go?